Alright, we are live and ready. It's going to be a shorter-ish stream tonight. Shorter-ish. I haven't really thought much about the game since I visited last week. There we go. So I'm going to have to, let's see, yeah, this is the one I want. There we go. So I'm going to have to do some thinking about where I am and what I'm doing. So I just beat Lich, and I updated my boss to the zombie D there, as you can see. There we go. Yeah, I'm kind of getting, let's go with Ice 2 here. There we go, we're set. So I'm kind of getting my bearings again with the game. So yeah. Ice 2, not so OP. So I've got to head back. I need to check my spell needs. I need to see if my red mages can learn level 5 spells. They might not be able to yet. All right. Oh, not quite enough MP for Fire 2. That's too bad. So I think I am going to try the Castle of Ordeals first. That's why you can see the zombie D's up there as the next boss. Yeah, that might not be enough to take him out. Yeah, I should just fight with everybody. I'm sure you can do a lot more damage fighting than with Fire 1. In the newly balanced game here. Looks like darkness still is not all that effective on their side, which is nice for me. That works great for me. And yeah, I guess without area of effect damage, I'm going to just try to run. But not if we get paralyzed. There we go. That worked out nice. Alright, so let me take a peek. There isn't a clinic here in Melmond, but I'm going to take a peek at the magic level. Oh, I'm probably in status. Still just magic level 4, so there's nothing else I can buy here in Melmond. So I'm going to have to head back to Coneria. And I'll restock in Coneria. I can probably go to the Earth Shrine thingy. Hello, Aviator Ebel. I think I have an idea of who that might be. If you are that person who I think you are, I'm just going to get out of here. Then hello, Aviator Ebel. Thank you for stopping by on this cold Irish evening and probably cold American Midwest afternoon, if that's where you are. To catch you up, Aviator Rebel, this is a comparison playthrough of Dawn of Souls. I did a very thorough playthrough of Final Fantasy, the NES version, with the game mechanics guide and everything. I was really, really thorough with it. So I'm just kind of comparing the two different versions here. I'm noticing early that I really do not like the music in this version, and it's been very much nerfed in terms of difficulty. But you do get a nice dash button, which I keep forgetting about because I'm used to my my NES controls. I'm gonna just finish restocking on my heal potions. Another nice thing is that you can do the multi-buy, which is great. I'll get a few more. Yeah, I'll just get enough pures for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'll grab, even though Phoenix Downs don't exist in the NES version, I'll grab some just to kind of help speed things along for me. One thing they did keep is that your players arise with 1 hit point when they come back from the dead. I'm going to fast forward through this in sequence because for some reason this game also has it just painfully long in sleeping sequences. I don't know why they did that to me, but they did that to me. Okay, let me take a look at my level 4 spells. I think I might be okay, actually. Yeah, I'm alright with level 4 spells, so I'm actually ready to go ahead and pop over to Crescent Lake. Which is great. I'll grab the canoe, and then I'm going to head up to Castle Ordeals. The Castle of Ordeals, I think is what it's probably supposed to be called. Let me check my map. Yes, I need to get down and to the... I bet it's faster to go west to get to Crescent than to go around to the east. Just one shark, so I'll go ahead and fight him. But for the most part, where I am in the game now, these sea battles are long since beneath me. I will fight the Kaizokus, or the Buccaneers as they're called in this version. Just because they give a decent amount of money, although even I'm starting to outpace the amount of money I can get from these guys. I'm not sure my coordinates here. Maybe I'm too far south. Let me see. Nope. Actually, I can go a little bit farther south from where I am. I believe this is the port I need. And again, these are newer graphics than the NES version that I'm so used to. All right, a back attack from the troll, not so bad. There's an example of the troll being in HP regen status, which they were supposed to be in the NES version, although it was supposed to be hidden. You couldn't actually see their life refilling like that. Yeah, this is Crescent Lake. It was supposed to be hidden. Ooh, the Peds are called Ankegs. That's interesting. Let's just fast my fighters just to get this battle over a little bit more quickly. And I wonder if I'm going to also need to temper them. Alright, that'll work okay. And we'll just fight with the red mages. Yeah, that's one annoying thing about these Ped enemies, or Ankegs, as they're translated in this one, which is probably a little bit more accurate. Ankeg being the D&D monster, the subterranean horror that they are. So I'm going to grab the canoe here in Crescent Lake, and I don't know if there's any equipment here. These would be the giants from the NES version. Just the regular green giant, not the frost giant, not the red. I think there's red giants in the NES version as well. But they're hill gigas here in this one. And again, they're kind of a tricky early game enemy, but they're not too bad in this version. Or I mean, not this version, where I am in the game. I think they have the same hit points that they do. I think they have 250 or so in the NES version, the giants. And it looks like they have about the same in this version. So I'm not playing with the game mechanics in this one. I'm not having those in front of me just because that would be too much. I'm hoping to get through this pretty quickly. Okay, I wonder if the mithril stuff is the silver stuff. I'm guessing it's the silver stuff. Let me see what this guy has. Oh, he still has the chain armor. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can go with that. Alright, we'll go with one of those. Two of these. And again, the inventory here is much, much, much better. And shields, huh? I didn't know my red mages could equip shields, but if they can, well, let's try it. And one helmet and 2 gloves. I'm just gonna assume that everything is okay. There we go. Cool. I haven't bought the regular gloves yet. I must be without those. Alright, let me just sell the extra stuff that I don't need here. Must have been an update there. Yep. Alright, oh, my chain armors, finally, my trusty chain armors from the beginning of the game. On my clothes from the beginning of the game, excellent. Yeah. Not going along here. Oh, I wonder if that power staff doesn't have a secondary ability as a... Does it sell? Does the power staff have a decent selling price? Yeah, so it's got the big selling price, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a spell that it casts, but I can't remember now. I can't remember now. I'll have to check on that. I'm not going to sell it now. I'll check on that between play sessions. Those are higher level magic that I can't equip yet. Okay, this must be the silver sword. These must be the silver swords that we were looking for earlier in the game. But, yeah, I'm very much dependent on attack power at this point in the game. So we'll go for those. Oh yeah, I don't want the great axe. Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't want the great axe. Can I sell that? I'll get rid of that axe right now. And, yeah, a lot of these things, I'll get rid of these, just to get a little bit of money back there. The falchion. My knife. Not going to worry about the silver hammer. Just doing a lot of selling here. And I'm going to wait on my special weapons, because I know that they did fix that, but I don't know how much of a difference it makes. They did fix the bug that, excuse me, I sneezed, that related to those. Let's see if I get the sage on the first try. Is it this one that gives me the canoe? No. Take this canoe. Oh, I was one off. One off. I'll be right back. Enjoy the town theme. Alright, back with my canoe. Is this... Oh, that's Lucan, the prophet. Okay. Alright, let me read the prophecy. Guided by destiny, about entire future. Oh, that's it? Okay. And all the rest of these guys just... In the NES one, they just say things like, go rescue the orbs! Make the orbs shine once again! Light warriors, you are our only hope! And other such things. Alright. So my next target is going to be the Castle of Ordeals, and I'm going to just fast forward through this so I can get some good equipment, if that's still the case, if they still have the same equipment. I'm assuming they do. Most things have been pretty similar in this version. Can I get the canoe right across there? Look at that. Excellent. And I'll just go ahead and save. I'll save back in file 1. That was my save right before Lich. I don't need that save anymore. I'm just going to get out of here, because I don't want to bother with poison. Probably will anyway. Alright, good. We're done with that battle. Alright, let's head over to the Castle of Ordeals, and I think that's the back attack from the Sahags. It's alright, I'll take it. And again, these guys just aren't worth it. The fighting, even with the red Sahag there, or the Sahag in Chief, as it is in this version, still not really worth fighting. I just want to get out of here, but it's not going to let me. It's not going to let me. Oops. I was hitting B instead of A. Let's see if we can just get out of here quickly. I don't want to have to waste time fighting, but yeah, I'm going to have to. There must be some low run rate associated with these guys here, so oh well. Of course, they're doing a ton of damage, which is why I just wanted to get out of here so I didn't have to fight this battle. That's going to give me negligible experience in gold. So I'm gonna find Elfland and then head straight south from that. Welcome, U.S. Kensington. I know, I'm sorry, it's really more of a time-saving thing. You know, a battle like this, I can do that because I can get these guys in one hit. And same thing with those Sahagan enemies, but they're just, the reward is so nil, but one of the things I'm seeing, I gotta check my location here to make sure I'm on the right spot. I need to be a little bit farther to the west to hit that river up by the Castle of Ordeals. Yeah, if you can get out in the first round, it's just faster to run, but if you have a weapon like that, or if you have a enemy like that doesn't let you run, then of course you sit there and you look like an idiot like I did. For the entertainment of many, or one. So, does this still work? Yes, this still works. Alright, you know what? I think this one I'm definitely going to get out, not so much for the time, just because of the more threatening enemies. Good. Good. Wow, a one-stepper. Let's get out of here. The enemies here are a little bit above my level, at least in the NES version. U.S. Kensington, I am not speedrunning. This is a comparison playthrough. I've played the NES version of this many, many times. And the last streaming project I did was a very thorough playthrough of the NES version where I was checking the algorithms guide and learning all of the bugs associated with the NES game. And this one I'm just kind of playing blind and comparing it to the NES game, just examining all the differences that pop up now that I know as much about the NES version as I do. I'm just seeing what it looks like with a lot of the bugs fixed and things working correctly. And also with a lot of the things they've made easier with this version, of which there are many, many. One of them I'm using right here. That's the ability to save without using a tent or a cottage or a house. Alright, Citadel of Trials. This is the Castle of Ordeals in the NES version, is the translation. And again, it checks to make sure you have the crown from way earlier in the game. It's very interesting. I'm also looking at the different translations, so I'm not mashing through as much text because I'm interested in how the translation is different. Courage put to the test. All right. So let's see if I remember the route through this castle correctly. I might get wiped out a time or two here, but it's worth it. So all of these are little warp panels, and they actually kind of show up as warp panels here, which is better than they give you in the NES version. They don't really help you out much with that. Alright, I think it's all these lower ones. Lower, 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 until you get to the next one. But I could get knocked out. Okay, these guys are alright. These are Zombuls in the NES version, and these are the least threatening enemies in this dungeon in the NES version. These are the ones you want to run into. You can get wiped out by Medusas and things in the NES version of this. U.S. Kensington, I'm not sure if you're as familiar with the NES version on this one. Let me know if anything is unclear. I can't answer everything about this version, but I can tell you how it's different from the NES version. Let's see if I got this right. I don't know if I have this right. This has a trap square, I believe. Yes, it does. Kind of a threatening one. Yeah. And I can't remember the susceptibility of these guys, but let's just try my regular fast spell on these guys. Okay, all right, these guys are okay with physical attacks. Now again, the items you get in here are a little bit more critical in the NES version when you don't have things like MP, which you do in this one, which really changes the balance of the game quite a bit. Having magic points instead of leveled spell charges really makes a big difference. So getting the heal staff in this dungeon is quite a big difference. Oh, Gauntlet. So that's a different spot than what it was before. Oops. what is the gauntlets then, if it's not something they can equip? Oh, that would be the, wow, that's the Zeus gauntlet. Okay, all right, that's the Zeus gauntlet. They changed that so I can't equip them, so I must just have to use them out of the item slot. Okay, so that's one of the items that casts a spell. And these guys are nasty. These guys can game over me. Yeah, they can just stone everybody. Oops, that was the wrong one, I believe. But let me see if I can still make it through this. Okay, so you played Origins. I've never actually played Origins. Some other folks that I've chatted with while streaming this game really enjoy Origins a lot. It's a little bit closer to the NES version, I believe, than this one, but it had some bugs fixed. Alright, and I think I need to go into a different teleporter, and I think I remember where it is. The problem is that this map looks a little bit different. Okay, I think it's this one. This map looks slightly different than the NES map. Yep, that was the correct one. So now that I have got my route, I'm going to make sure I don't get killed here. So I'm going to heal up a little bit now that I know where I am. These should be Nightmare. Okay, so they kept Nightmare. They kept the Nightmare name. Okay, yeah, actually, Jolly, the next game I want to stream is FF Restored, which is maybe the same bug fix of the NES version that you're referring to. Heal Staff, that's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah, and I've noticed, Shahali, in this one, I don't know if you were with me last time, the Lich battle was quite a rude awakening for me, because Lich's physical defense was really high, and his hit points were bumped up quite a bit. So it was actually the Temper Saber / Haste was the only thing that got me there. So yeah, the one I have is called FF Restored, and I've just played around with it a little bit. And okay, and US Kensington, I've heard that this music is very similar to the Origins version, except it's a lot. It's got the Game Boy Advance buzziness. You know, that hissy, low quality GBA sound quality. It's got that, whereas the Origins version was a little bit better. We get some nicer equipment here. Okay. Yeah, Charlie, I think I remember you popping in, and of course I appreciate you popping in. And US Kensington, appreciate you popping in tonight too. This is a little bit later, actually quite a bit later than I usually stream. So if it's a handier time for you to tune in, I'm glad to have you. All right, so I'm going to be fighting my zombie dragons here pretty soon. Normally I stream about 6 hours earlier than this, but I happen to have some time free this evening my time. It's a couple minutes to 8 p.m. my time. Yeah, so if you're in North America, then you're in the afternoon. And I'm from North America originally. I'm from the USA, but I'm not living there currently. So I'm passing my time as an expat playing old video games on Twitch like this. All right, so the zombie dragons coming up. I'm not sure how they're going to be translated, but I assume that all of their attributes are going to be the same. US Kensington, I am in Ireland right now. I am living in Ireland right now. All right, so this is the rat tail. I can't use this until later. So yes, I was originally from Iowa. So they are 6 hours behind where I am now, and it's going to be, I think, the next step will have the zombie Ds. So let's take a look and see what they look like in this version. Okay, slight difference in the name, but as you can see, the sprite looks pretty familiar. The NES sprite is the one that's on my stream under Next Boss. That's the NES sprite of the zombie dragon. And in the NES version, it's called Zombie D because they didn't have enough letters or character slots to fit. And I think in the NES version, ooh, that was a big punch there. You can fight anywhere from 1 to, it might be 1 to 3, but it's definitely, you can do 1 or 2. I'm not sure if you can get up to 3. in that one. I'm sorry, my stream is getting kind of choppy here. It looks like my computer is trying to do something in the background, and I'm sorry. It should be over here in a second. I'm sorry about that. I have a pretty low-powered PC that I have to stream on. So I have to stream at a pretty low quality. Alright, so that actually worked out not too bad for me. I do have one dead red mage, but that's okay, because I'm heading back to town. Now heal up, and then I guess I may have time yet to take a stab at the volcano, which is great. So I need to put my boss X up over my dragon zombie. Okay, so Charlie, you think it's up? I thought it was up to 3 too. I wasn't totally sure about that. I knew I had fought 1 and 2 there, because you can actually use that spiked square as a spot to grind, because they give pretty good experience reward. So you can use that spot to grind a little bit. Okay, I think I'll just head over to Crescent rather than bother with Elfland. I still don't think I'm up to level 5 magic yet, although it's nice that this version at least tells you what your magic level is with the MP-ness that they have. Sorry to sound dirty by saying something like MP-ness. Yeah, Shahali, FF Restored, I've toyed with it just a little bit. I'm going to try the, oops, I meant to go to item, and I hit run. Because normally item's on the bottom. I'm used to going to item on the bottom. So I've toyed a little bit with FF Restored. I haven't really gone into it yet, but I've read the README and read all the bug fixes. And it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. And also they have a boss music theme that they've patched in there. So when you fight Garland... Alright, yeah, so there's the gauntlets. It's not the Zeus gauntlet anymore. It's just called gauntlets. But yeah, so they patched in a boss theme song so you don't get the regular random battle sound when you fight bosses, which is nice. And I think the README also said there's a patch for a Fiend boss theme that plays only when you fight the Fiends, and presumably maybe also Chaos at the end. I have to see if I can reorder this stuff so I don't have to scroll down to get to the Zeus Gauntlet. Oop, and that's going to paralyze my red mage. Oh, it missed. Alright. So now that I have access to the Zeus Gauntlet, I have some multi-targeting spells, so I can use those at will. And yeah, but I'll head over to the Volcano next. It's, like I said, it's going to be a shorter-ish stream tonight. I'm not going to be able to do 3 hours like I did the other day when I started the game and played up through the Earth Cave. I just had a little bit of time tonight and wanted to keep things fresh in my mind. I think I'm poisoned, yep. Yeah, I'm anxious to finish this so that I can get on to streaming FF. And this area here is infamous, even in the NES version, for stuff that can poison you. The Peeds, which are called Ankegs in this translation, can poison you, as can the scorpions and the snakes. This is a very poison-happy part of the game, and they kept that in. Shahali, that's okay. You are welcome to mute the stream, turn the stream off, jump in and out, whatever you care to do. I'm just happy that you have popped in. I'm going to fast forward through this as I do every in-stay. I'm jealous that you're at the kind of a job where you can tune into a Twitch stream like this and watch it off and on. That's great. I work from home here, so I have the same kind of job where I can take a break to watch a stream a little bit while I'm working. Can I even save in the canoe? Oh, whoops. I didn't bring my hero back. I forgot about that. So my thoughts on Dawn of Souls, it's okay, but I hesitate to judge it too harshly because I know I'm comparing it to another game that I know and love so well. I need to get to the clinic. If it were its own game, I would say it's a nice little RPG. It's nice, compact little RPG, classic style RPG. But I cannot help but, as I'm playing through this version, just wishing I was playing the NES version. And that might just be in my head. That might just be me, and I'm going to have to heal this guy up. So I'll do another quick in-stay. That might just be me, so I hesitate to give it a review one way or the other. So, it's alright, but I'm wishing, like, man, I just wish I was playing the NES version. The music is better in that, and even though it's broken and buggy, that has a certain charm with me that just kind of sticks. So, yeah, it's not that I'm not enjoying playing through this version. I'm going to have to be checking my map periodically here in this one. Whoa, this is if I remember, this is a little bit different set of enemies than I'm used to. So, my question here then is, can I have two red mages both use the same gauntlets? Okay, no, they can't. That's interesting. They can't both use the same gauntlet. Ah, yes, bad weather in Chicago, U.S. Kensington, yes. Okay, not a whole lot from the heal staff. I wanted to see what that looked like. Yes, I saw that the Midwest is having some bad weather today. I still do follow the weather of my home state, mostly so that I can tease my family about it, my family and friends who still live back there. So I'm happy for you that you got to stay home and work from home today. And I'm glad you decided to spend some of that time here hanging out with me. And this GBA Riffic. So it's interesting, Shahali9, that you and I have the same opinion. That's good to know that I'm not alone in that. But again, I have to be cautious when I say something's good or bad on the internet, because it's all personal opinions, and I think everyone kind of knows that. But it's very easy to offend somebody incidentally by dumping on something that they love, which I don't certainly mean to do. Let's see if I can get a better look here. Yeah, alright. Gotta go up. Okay, so it's not as bad in southern Indiana than it was in Chicago. That's good. Hey, that's right. He picked up the ice sword, so we've got a little bit more punch. In Iowa today, they had quite a bit of ice and snow overnight. So I was looking. I saw a lot of places were closed back in the part of Iowa that I'm from, which would be Iowa's a little bit closer to the same latitude as our Chicagoland friends and our southern Indiana friends. Okay, we have different reasons, but we both prefer the NES. Excellent. See, again, we can all get along on the internet, can't we? And we both played NES, which I think is critical. I think it's critical that we both played NES first, and we're comparing to that. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the dungeon music. This is the same dungeon music. So these would be the red gargoyles, probably would be their homologue in the NES version, if I'm interpreting that correctly. I'm trying to remember what all the enemy sets were, but I believe these would be the red goyles, is how they're translated in the NES version. And I don't remember them being unrunnable or difficult to run from, but the running thing does work quite a bit differently in this one. I'm going to try not to fight too many battles in this if I can, unless they're ones I can win without taking a lot of damage. There's a bunch of treasures up in here. None of them are really critical for me. I'm going to get out of here and use the heal staff. This is kind of a standard, and if you play the NES version, Shahali knows, once you get that heal staff, you are using it all the time, because free healing is very difficult to come by. So, like, this is an okay battle to fight, although I'm very underwhelmed with how much damage I'm doing. with my gauntlets, with the Zeus gauntlets. I know none of these guys are weak against lightning, but and even some of those river monsters that you think would be weak against lightning are not. They even in the NES one, you would think that those would be weak for lightning, and they're not. But just not impressed. You know, 44 and 48, they've definitely nerfed that somehow. That's not doing the same kind of damage that we want from it. But that's all right. And there's some, yeah. These are spiked squares, so these are unrunnable. But with the kind of damage my guys are doing, yeah, these guys are trivial. So some things have been made more difficult, and some things have been made much easier. And I can never remember what is where. So I'm just going to use attacking for these guys, because my red mages are doing a lot more damage fighting than they are with magic, which is kind of sad. It's a little bit sad. I also noticed the red mages got 2 hits long before the fighters did in this version. Let's see, is this... I don't know if this is spiked or not, but I should be able to get these guys in 1 or 2 hits. And look at me distributing my hits like I'm playing the NES version. Look at that. I'll need to do another couple of heal staff uses here soon. Actually, very soon. So it is interesting how they've handled the using items. In the NES version, your character could only use an item to cast a spell if it was in that character's inventory. So characters had, as far as weapons and armor went, each character had their own distinct inventory. But here they just made it, you have a shared inventory unless somebody's using an item, is what it looks like. I wasn't checking that beforehand, I'm just seeing that now, because I'm kind of playing through this blind. But in the NES one, that heal staff takes a while to work because it casts heal on each character individually. So you get and I believe it's a... Okay, so here's the gray... Oh, it's not a gray worm. It's a fire trap spell, or trap square. So that was just bad luck. I got a regular random battle 1 tile before a trap square here with the fire elementals. I am going to be going after the flame armor, which is guarded by a red dragon. Next battle, I'm going to change the boss thing to show carry. All right, I'll do that while this battle plays out. There we go. So that's the carry sprite from the NES game. I was just too lazy to change my stream layout to reflect the new game. Plus, I really like those NES sprites, and it's kind of fun to compare. I'm curious as to what the carry sprite's going to look like. I understand from another viewer who's popped into my stream that the Fiend sprites all look very gorgeous in these versions of the game. So I'm excited to see what they look like. I need to make sure I'm not accidentally hitting flee on those. I've got to make sure I get to the heal staff. And I'm going to try to rearrange my heal staff up to the front and my Zeus Gauntlet, because I'm not going to be using potions in battle much. I'm just going to be using these spellcasting items for the free healing and the free attack power. Yeah, and it's nice that the heal staff does cast it on everybody at the same time. You don't have to watch it 4 different times. Yeah, so I don't have to come down here to the inventory. Just that's a massive difference in how the games play that I'm still kind of wrapping my brain around using the items like this. But the sprites do look nice in this game in general. The enemy sprites are nice. The character sprites are also nice. Someone else popped in and said, "Why do your character sprites all look the same?" And I went, "Oh yeah. I guess I am using 2 identical ones, because this is a very old-style RPG where your characters don't really have any personality. The world kind of has a personality, but your characters don't." So they do look nice. They're a little bit less... they've got a little more shading than the NES sprites do, which you've got to give them credit for. I should have moved my items. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to move my items. I got to do that right now. Alright. Or can I not? Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm not going to need to use Phoenix Downs in battle, ever. Probably not likely that I'm going to use Echo Grass to heal Mute. Do you think no remake of FF1 and 2 looks ugly? I agree, at least from what I've seen. I'm actually going to switch these. I agree, at least from what I've seen so far. Definitely getting out of these. I do not like any of these oozy enemies in the NES version. They're random, they hit kind of hard, they have weird resistances. Some of them resist magic, some resist physical, and it's just hard to remember which is which. So I'm just going to forego fighting those if I can. Yeah, and I got Healing Staff at the top now, so I will get my free uses of Heal Staff. Yeah, the Volcano here is a pretty good place to grind, because you do have a lot of spike squares down here that are eatable. The Agamas are good ones, a little bit further down in the dungeon. I'm not sure how they'll be translated. Probably something like Fire Lizard or something. Alright, we have a back attack from the Gray Ooze. I wonder if these are Muck, maybe? I think the Scum enemies are green. I think the Mucks are blue. Are the Slimes red? I can't remember which ones is which color and which ones have which attributes. I think that the oh boy. I better not. I hesitate to even make a guess at which ones are in the Marsh Cave. Those are the ones you see first, I think, are in the Marsh Cave. But you got like Scum, Muck, Slime. I'm gonna actually bop you back. Let's get out of that. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Aviator Evil, I was not practicing this when I was in college back at BVU. No, I had not played this game, although I did play through the NES version of Final Fantasy 1 at least twice while I was in college. That's how much I liked that game. So all those years ago, I had the emulator on my my college computer. I played through Final Fantasy, the NES version, at least twice, maybe more than that. Maybe more than that. I played a good amount of video games. Hello, Ark. Welcome, welcome. I'm probably going to be finishing up the stream tonight after I beat the Volcano here. Oh, so you dug around in Origins a little bit, and the INT bug is still broken, huh? They chose not to, or they couldn't figure out how to fix the INT bug. Interesting, we were chatting about the FF Restored ROM hack before you popped in. And they found a way to do it, or they chose to do it. I wonder if it was a choice thing. If maybe they tried it and discovered that it was just had too big of an effect on the game, that it unbalanced the game too much and they were too lazy to rebalance it. No, Shahali, my first experience with FF1 was on the NES. Back in, I bought it in about 1992 or 3 because it was on sale. It was right at the end of the NES's lifestyle. I got it at a KB toy store, and it was in like a bargain bin. I got Final Fantasy. I don't remember how much it cost because I was, a young kid, but I did have it, and I played it. I didn't have a Super NES when I was a kid, so I did play this on the NES, and I played the NES well into the 90s because I didn't have the Super. All right, these are called Grey Worms in the NES version. Yeah, Ark, they decided not to bother. I understand. The game's fine. The game works okay, even this version. I mean... So, Shahali, you think the way they fixed it in the FF Restored version is arbitrary? They may have just kind of thrown a dart at how to do it. I guess it's been a bit since I have read the README. I can't remember exactly how they chose to do it. So you got your copy a year or so earlier, so probably closer, or much closer to its release date. Because it didn't come out in America in, was it 1990? Is that what the title screen says? might be, I think 90. I think it was like 87 in Japan and 90 in America. I almost said 90 here. Of course, I'm not in America at this very moment. And I don't think Europe ever got it, right? I believe Ark clued me into that Europe never got it. Wow, so Ark, you had a bootleg Chinese NES when you were a kid, huh? That must have been very interesting. I would I would love to hear more about that. And yeah, and you didn't learn English until probably you were a little later in school. That's only a guess. I don't mean to be presumptuous. All right, so Hal, you got it, 91 or 2. Still in prime time. I had rented it, I think, a couple times. I think I had rented it a couple times, and I was really confused by it because the default option, I think, is continue when you open it up. And when I had rented it, someone else had a game where they had already gotten a ship or something on my rental copy, because I remember playing it. And then when I bought it, I was like, how come I don't have a ship in the port by Canaria there? Why isn't there a ship waiting for me in the port? Okay, so Shahali, yes, I remember that now. They made the bottom of the RNG, yeah, increase as intelligence went up. Yeah, I guess I can see how that does seem a little bit throwing a dart and seeing how they could do it. But I guess when you're working with an already finished product, it's probably difficult to figure out how to do that. Yeah, I can see that. It's adding stat bonuses to it, but I guess with the spells being, well, yeah, I guess they could have maybe tried to treat intelligence like strength. They could have done like intelligence over 2 as a bonus to your spell effectiveness. This encounter rate is driving me crazy. Man, this encounter rate is killer. Yeah, well, Shahali, after I'm finished with this one, I'll do a very thorough playthrough of Restored, and I'll try it with some of the mage classes to see what it looks like, and I'll keep the algorithms guide and the README to Restored at the ready on stream. So if you missed my FF1 playthrough, I had the FF1 algorithms guide on stream with me. So when I needed to look something up, I could pull up the algorithms guide in a text file in front of the stream so that everyone watching could see me look things up. And it probably was a little bit boring for some, but I found it fascinating and very, very enlightening for how games work. Oh, you've been working on a piece, Shahali. If you care to, I would love to read that. So if you get it into a finished mode, or if you publish it if you have a blog or something, I would love to read that. So if you if you have a link to that, I'd love to see that in the chat, or if you care to send me a PM or something. I really enjoy reading write-ups about games like this. It's one of my weird secret things, is I stick them on my Kindle. Oh, really? It's intelligence over 4. I didn't realize that, because I mean, strength over 2 is kind of the standard, even into FF5, you know, which is another game I have played a good amount of. Being very dedicated Fiesta-er as I was. Yes, so crit chances, as I understand it, instead of being based on I believe it was luck or agility. They're supposed to be based on one of your stats, and the thief is supposed to be better at crits. But instead it calls upon the number of weapon that you have in the weapons table. So there are, let's see, how many weapons are there? Are there 64 different weapons? I think there's 64 different weapons, numbered 0 through 63 or something like that. And the higher weapon you have on the weapons table, the greater your crit chance. So when you use like a rapier, which is like number 4, it calls on that number. But when you use Mass Moon, which is number, like, the highest one, 63 or 64, it calls on that number. I don't want the axe, though. Yeah, I want the mithril sword. Oh, so Chahali, so you've got a very thorough work up there. You got a very thorough work of all of that. Yeah, it is strange, Ark, how they made it work, but it seems clear that they didn't quite want it that way. Because the thief was supposed to be a little bit better for crits, but even the what's the highest ninja weapon? Is it katana? I think it's katana is the highest ninja weapon. Was supposed to have a better crit rate with a ninja. Okay, so in FF2, the attack magic was supposed to be really weak, so you had to level your spells up to fire 18 before they could do very much damage. It's been a very long time since I've played through. Or since I played FF2. I don't think I've ever played it all the way through. Maybe I've played it all the way through. Okay, so in Origins it's called Sasuke's Katana. In the NES I think it's just called Katana. And that's interesting that they kept Sasuke's Katana as the katana in FF5. And ahoy hoy, Sonic-Ku! Good to see you. Welcome back. I hope your move went well this last weekend. Yes, this might be the most populated chat I've ever had. I'm not sure what to do. I can barely focus on this game that requires a little bit more than A button mashing. Now that I've cleared this room out, I got to get out of here so I can continue this dungeon, because I am like desperate to get on with this thing. This room is always rough though, with all the spiked squares and the treasure. And I probably could have just skipped it. With the level of power my characters have, I probably could have just gone right through. On to fight the flame dragon and Carrie. And I can't remember exactly where the fire sword is. There's a fire sword down here, and then there's the flame armor. Those are kind of the things I'm looking for, because I think the fire sword is a little bit better. And do I remember? Yeah, I can save anywhere, right? Yeah. So, no reason to head back out. Let's see. Is there treasure to the left here? No, there's not. Alright. Not doing too much damage. It must still just be one damage per tile. I'm just trying to get out of here. Except for the heal staff. Good to hear that it went okay, Sonic-Ku. Thank you for sharing. Yes, I saw that Carrie is supposed to be the Indian god or goddess, Kali. I think I saw that in Sula's chat, and of course it makes sense, being that Final Fantasy borrows from so many mythologies from other cultures, and judging from the look of Carrie's sprite being the multi-armed Indian-looking goddess. I really am not very well versed on mythology of other countries, so I don't want to speak as if I'm knowledgeable in it, because I'm really quite ignorant. Just the way I'm coming, everything looks so different. I know the maps are laid out pretty much the same, but I need to focus here. Yeah. All right. Think I've got it. All right. Yeah, there should be some spiked squares here. Yep. Again, a gray worm. Yeah, so origins that go with Merilith. And what is Merilith in the D&D manual? I have to admit, I played a good amount of D&D, but it's been from 3rd edition on, so I'm not as familiar with that word Merilith as being a D&D. I mean, I know like the Omkeg that they use here is a D&D monster, and quite a few other things come from D&D. But I have to admit, I don't know what a Merilith is in the D&D canon. I don't know where the spiked squares are here. I presume there is at least one. These would be the bulls. Hell if I know. Well, I tell you, if Sonicu has his D&D manuals handy, maybe he can enlighten us, because I know that Sonicu is not above going and checking a D&D manual on a Twitch stream. Although I'd hate to ask that if that's not convenient for him. Flame shields. This is where I'm gonna get there. I get another ice brand. Maybe that's the weapon I was thinking of. There we go. I thought there was a flame sword, but maybe the flame sword is in the ice cave. Oh yeah, so okay, if you just have the player's handbook, yeah, there would be very little, if any, monster data in the player's handbook. You'd have to have the monster manual, and if Merilith is a demon, it might even be in like the Fiend folio. If Merilith, he or she, is some kind of creature from the lower planes, as they are in the D&D universe. Yes, I know that they use lower planes for their hells and demons. So if she's from that, she might be from one of the special books that's the monsters from those lower planes. And yeah, definitely that would not be in the handbook. I'm gonna get out of this one. Hopefully I can get out of here quickly. I'm running a little low on health. There we go. I'm gonna heal up a little bit more. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, because the monster manual only goes so far. The regular published monster manual has a lot of the standard D&D monsters like owl bears and stuff. You'd probably find your Ankeg in the monster manual and your rust monster and everything. Multi-handed sword-wielding demon. Well, there we go. There we go. Alright, so these would be the Agamas, and I think, if I remember correctly from the NES version, there is 2 spiked squares here. Both of these are spiked with Agamas, yes. Yep, there we go, because this is in the speedrun route that I've seen of the NES version. This is a really, really common grind. And you can use it to, oh yeah, regular, I think the wooden staff, I think I remember that. I think I even remember that. You can use those squares to grind with the healing staff. Whoa, a red dragon as a random battle? That's a new one. Holy cow, is that a new one? That's a little scary. I guess cast Aether? Holy cow. I've never seen a red dragon as a random battle. I know I'm gonna fight one later as a trap square in front of the chest. Wow. That was a well-placed haste spell there. Holy cow. Okay, well, so Shahali, they are a random battle here. I never knew that. I've never pulled up the enemy table here. I've just never seen one in the times I've played, except for the one that's in here. Yep, down in there. So I'm going to heal up the rest of the way here, and I'm going to use the same strategy on this this dragon as I did on the last one. Just cast Fast on one of my fighters, and Aether from one of my mages. Oh, a back attack from an Agama. Whatever will I do? Arc, I'm not sure. I need to look at some of the choices in Restored before I do the stream. I know there are some choices you can kind of pick and choose which, what's the word I'm thinking of? Which bugs you want to fix or which patches you want to use. So I need to do some research on what I want to do there. So I haven't decided that yet. I've seen that that's a choice. All right, let's take on the red dragon. Now that we know we can fight him without too much trouble. Here's our Aether. Okay, good. He chose to attack. No problem. If he had done fire too, I don't know. It would have been a pretty good punch. But now that we're blocked, we're okay. And that should take him out. Cool. And the flame armor. Excellent. Cool. Alright. Oh, is this a trap square with an Agama? Okay. I kind of... Something in the back of my head told me that was a trap square, but I couldn't... I didn't know for sure. I didn't want to say anything. Something in the back of my head said that was a trap square. Alright. Okay, so from 255, yeah, because that's what makes the encounter table so predictable on the NES version, is that you have these fixed encounter numbers, and an RNG from 255 to, is that that number would be 2 to the 9th, is it? 65, 365, is that 2 to the 9th instead of 2 to the 8th? If I've done my math, is 2 to the 8th the one that's, I don't know, the hit points that X-Death has at the end of World 2, is it's 32 something. That's, I think it's 2 to the 8th, but is that 2 to the 9th maybe? I don't have my scientific calculator on me at the moment. But that certainly would be a lot more random than the 255 BS that we have in these NES games. So before we get to Carrie here, gang, I'm going to be, after I beat Carrie, I'm going to be calling it a night here. Oh, 655, 535 is, oh, that's FFFF in extended hexadecimal. Yeah, and I know 255 is FF. Okay. Alright, so after I beat Carrie here, team, I'm going to be calling it a stream for the night. Just because I'm out of time, this was always going to be a shorter stream. So just so it's not sudden when I pop off, and I'll chat for a little bit after we get done here with Carrie, and maybe Carrie will beat me and it'll take me a few tries to beat her, but look at this, handy, I can save right outside of her Carrie's office here. Alright, so let's take a look and see what she can do, everybody. Let's do it. Let's do it, Carrie. Kali. Whatever your name is, whatever we call you. It's a nice looking on-map sprite. Okay, so I think in the NES version it's "You shall burn in its flames." I will show you the power of fire and you shall burn in its flames, or you will burn in its flames, I think is the translation in the NES version. Interesting. I do like seeing those differences. Wow, that is a nice looking sprite. That's a good looking sprite right there. So, I'll get Afer off. Yeah, so I am going to have to do, with her boosted hit points, I am going to have to get temper and haste off on these guys, yeah. But now that we've got Afer, I don't think she can do ice spells, although I'm struggling to remember now. Alright. Let's see if I can get this lined up correctly. Alright, there's Fire 2, so with Afer on, that should be pretty negligible. Although not nothing. Definitely not nothing. Yeah, Ark, I know you like the Fiend sprite. It's neat to compare them to the NES sprites on stream there. I'm glad I did that. That's cool. I mean, yeah, go me, everybody. Go me. Alright, and, oh, you don't actually have, you don't have Kira. Alright, so, I think probably just attack. Although, maybe I'll have to haste himself before he can do much attacking. And, yeah, these guys might take her out. Alright, there's temper for the other character. That's why he was doing such low damage. But one more round ought to do it, even with boosted hit points. She can't take too much more. Yeah, I guess I'll just heal stab. Yeah, that ought to do it. Nice. Nice. Let's get that X up. Cool. Not great on the experience though, huh? Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about the experience there. So Ark, I don't use Monk or Black Belt in this party, because Sonicu's got it right. For me, the levels have to be kind of high before they really start to get punchy, and also the ability to equip all the heavy armor really makes fighters convenient to put in those upper two spots. Especially if in later versions where monks can't wear as much armor. I know they get a little more on the hit points, although I don't know how much the hit point growth is different here. But that's why in these kind of quick playthroughs, I'm not using the monk so much. In the future, I would like to explore the other classes a little bit more. So I think when I do a restored run, I'll use some of the Mage League classes. Maybe I'll use a monk. And I would like to sometime try the Thief class, just to see what it looks like. Just to see what it looks like. Yeah, now, okay, so you guys mentioned the bonus stuff, and I've just reminded of that. When I started this game, I had no idea that there was bonus game in this. So your Dawn of Souls party had a monk, and you were underwhelmed, Shahali. Yeah, it's when their levels get high, at least in the NES one, which I know more about, when their levels get way high, they start to get like 8 and 10 and 12 hits, and they really do a lot of damage. Okay, so you ended the game at 50 here. So in the NES version, the level is actually capped at 50. So at 50, the monk, and if you read the Sula solo monk report, he gets his monk up to 50, and he takes out Chaos in like 1 or 2 rounds. Because he's doing close to 1,000 damage every attack because of all the hits. But so clearly they've rebalanced that here in this one. But I would like to see what the Thief looks like in the future. And the bonus dungeons here, I had no idea they existed until I started this run through on Dawn of Souls. So I would probably try them. I need to look into more what they're like. Oh, Chaos has been buffed. I guess presumably Chaos would be buffed in this one. Okay, and 1 NES level is about 2 Dawn of Souls levels, the way they balanced it. So yeah, monks may start to turn around. It's whenever they start to get, you know, those really high hit multipliers. I don't know, you know, Shahali, without having seen how many hits a monk gets per turn at level 50 in the Origins version. But I think at level 50 in the NES version, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 10 or 12 hits per round. But I don't know how those hit multipliers work here. That's totally unknown to me. But I think I will try some of the bonus dungeons in this one. I'll get to the end of the game and get my characters as buffed as I'm going to get them, and then I will pop over. And I may have to, once I start looking at trying to fight Chaos, I need to decide if I want to look at Chaos's AI routine before I take him on, or if I just want to do it blind, because I don't know what they will have changed. I don't know if he'll still have that Cure 4 spell on his 4th level. Yeah, Ark linked to the YouTube comparison between the GBA. Yes, Ark linked to some PS1 Origins version music before, and it was quite a difference. I checked that out after the last time. So if you haven't heard decent versions of these scores, that would be the way to go. Well, team, I think that's going to be it for me tonight. I really appreciate everybody stopping by and saying hello. I know this is a little bit better time for our North American friends. And Ark, I appreciate you popping in, although I know it's a little bit later where you are. I'll try to do at least one more stream this week. It'll be maybe Thursday or Friday. I don't know if I'll get another evening time, but if I can get another evening time, I will do so. And next time it's going to be Ice Cave, which is going to be kind of rough, which is why I'm not going to start it now, because I don't think I could finish Ice Cave in the time that I have left tonight. So I'm going to call it for tonight. But thank you again, folks. I will check that video. I'd love to see your finished FF1 and 2 comparison work. If you get that done, I would love to take a look at that in another chat sometime, or if you PM me that. I'm just very interested in that, what the community is doing for games like this. But with that said, everyone, thank you very much, and we will talk to you soon.